Well, if there's one word that sums up the Democratic case against Donald Trump, it's this: racist. They called him that from day one. They're calling him that now, again and again and again. Heather McDonald is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, has a very different view. She says it's the Democrats who fundamentally have racialized our politics, and she joins us now to explain. Heather McDonald, thanks a lot for coming on.
Great to be with you.
So what do you, this is so counter to the storyline one hears everywhere, that Trump came into this placid country with perfect race relations and screwed it up by being a bigot, that I'd like you for them to explain what you mean, the Democrats racialized our politics.
It's a hilarious narrative, Tucker. The Democratic Party has been captured by academic identity politics.
Yes.
And identity politics defines whites, and particularly white males, as the oppressors of every other group, real or imagined, in the United States. It has created vast government bureaucracies dedicated to extirpating phantom white racism. The idea that white voters are going to gravitate to a party that so demonizes and scorns them is ridiculous. If you want to talk about racialized discourse, talk to any police officer who's been living through 2 years of racialized hatred directed at them on the streets. President Obama has invited Black Lives Matter activists to the White House. He put Brittany Packnett, one of the Black Lives Matter leaders, on his task force for 21st century policing. If you want to see a classic example of democratic racialized discourse, look up her post-election essay in Vox, which complains about being assaulted by American white supremacy.
I think the title of that essay is, quote, "White People, What is Your Plan for the Trump Presidency?" Now, the word racist was thrown around so much that there is a debate about what it means. But I think one definition that everyone can agree on is this: if the government were to punish people on the basis of an immutable characteristic such as their skin color, and really punish them in hiring, in contracting, in admissions, that would be racist, right? I mean, by definition, wouldn't it?
Right, and I think where you're going is that we now have reverse racism.
No, it doesn't sound reverse. It seems pretty straightforward. I mean, is that
well,
the definition?
Sure. I mean, but there is very little evidence of classic racism any longer, which is why clever civil rights attorneys have come up with this concept called disparate impact discrimination, which forgoes finding any actual evidence of discrimination. It just says if you have a race-neutral policy that somehow is viewed as having a disparate impact on blacks, you're guilty of racism. What we really have in most institutions today is reverse racism. You have every selective college in the United States practicing reverse discrimination and allowing black and Hispanic students to be admitted with academic qualifications that would automatically disqualify a white or Asian student.
It all seems like a dead end to me, identity politics. It seems like it winds up in a place where people really hate each other for reasons that nobody can change.
People long to be truly post-racial, and that's why they voted for Obama, because he promised that and then revoked that promise.
I think a lot of people, not just white people, I think everybody longs for that, and I hope we get it. Heather McDonald, it's great to see you. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Tucker.